Boom. Autism Mondays. Right, whatever. Hope you liked that wee intro there. I was trying to be a little bit creative this week. So, for anybody that's new to the channel, my name's Paul. I do all autism videos every single Monday. I'll leave a playlist because I always forget which side it's at. And there's a playlist there, it's called Living with ASD. And if you watch all those videos first, then you'll understand why I do these videos. Whatever. So, today I'm going to be speaking about love and relationships with autism / high functioning ASD. So, love and relationships is actually quite a difficult thing for me. Like past talk discussion about love is like a horror show and it ends really well. So it's like a Disney show. I'm like, yeah, everything worked out really good. So I'm going to speak about some of the things that people with Asperger's and autism will struggle with when it comes to love and relationships. For example, right, I'm not the best looking laddie in the world. Really, my wife says I've got a resting bitch face. That's kind of like, I look really morbid. I'm like the worst person you'd ever want to go up to and go, hey babe. I'm like, whatever. Growing up and stuff like that, I'd always have crushes. So what you'll find is that I think it's a limitation for people with autism and ASD is this thing about focus that we speak about all the time. It's all in all my other videos. We become focused on things. So the problem was with me, I became focused on one person. So throughout all my life, it was a thing where it was like, I always had a crush. So in nursery, I had a crush. In primary school, I went through 7 years of primary school with the same crush, right? Swear to God, like this one girl consumed. High school, right? I'd say first 4 years, again, crush on one person. One crush throughout all my 20s, at all my teens and early 20s. Nobody ever got a look in with me because I was so focused. And that could be really limiting because you become so focused on this one person. It's kind of like I'd be even at nursery, I had crushes, right? I had this crush on one girl, right? I think her name was Jasmine or something. But it was like, can I be like a creepy watcher child? So I wouldn't say anything to you because I'm like, fucking hell, I don't know what I'm going to say to you. Yes, I've not got any one-liners. I'm just not like, yeah. You remind me of a light bulb, because you light up my world. It's not like something I would do. But no wonder, it's a terrible chat up line. So even in nursery, can I be like that in the bushes, kind of creepy watcher child? Oh yeah, oh that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, rock that Beauty and the Beast. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh my God, is that glittery shoes you're wearing? Some girl will be like, I really like you, Paul. Fuck off. Can you not see I'm creepily observing the love of my life here? I'm like, oh yeah, oh, those glittery shoes. Oh my God, those lights on those shoes. Oh God. Oh, just walk into my life. You want to kiss? Walk off, right? Fuck off. Nobody loves you, right? And back to the watching. That's the way I was. So it was primary school. I remember I never used to get girlfriends because I was consumed with this one girl. And I remember, know what my problem is? I always go for the prettiest people, right? So I'm not the prettiest guy in the world, right? I was never the most popular. See, when you're autistic, nobody sits there and goes, well, actually on the rating there, you're probably a 6. So you're probably best to maybe down your options and maybe go for a few of the munters that don't have boyfriends. I want that one. How can I not have that one? Unfortunately, in terms of the scale in looks and attractiveness, you're poor. So you have to go with other poor people. I'm still here. That's alright. I'll be single. That's right. So growing up, I was always, so that could be, sometimes you'll find a difficulty for people with autism, is that they'll normally have one person that they take all their attention and their focus to, they can't move that. The problem is they've got, again, when you got Asperger's, you'll never speak to them because you're too shy, and again, you don't know what to say. So you just secretly love these people, and then don't tell your emotions, and it's just a horrible life. I remember having my first girlfriend in primary school, and I remember it was see in Scotland, it's that thing we call it a necky. It was basically, and see what's funny is see necking. I never got necking growing up with autism, right? Because I remember used to kind of being like, what, so you just go yeah, with your tongue. And see me, because I was I needed to know everything. There was no books, there was no internet, right? I couldn't sit kind of in the bushes alright, excuse me mate, right, could you just open your mouth a little bit so I can see what your tongue's doing? I used to overanalyse what do you do with your tongue? And it's people used to say stuff like, you would up your washing machine. No, I don't want to do that. I'm like, what do you do? And so you used to get people that would tell you techniques, boys would tell you things, but yeah, what I normally do is I only go two to the side, then do a little bit of a wrap around to kind of mix things up. Like that, then maybe two on that side, and then just there. Normally what I do is I kind of start off slow, a little bit fast, just to make sure you're still interested. And you get all the bit dramatic, how about the action? I'm sitting there in the mirror, Pierre, over-analysing it. I remember I was going to get my first kiss, my first necky, and it was like everybody built up to it, and everybody was like, oh my god, I'm like, oh god, I'm palpitating, I'm like, right, okay, oh, right, Paul, right, okay, this is your moment to shine, so, right, this is your stars in the eyes, right, okay, now, man, right, come on, let's do it, man, this is like that. Oh, my hands wet. Oh, it's disgusting. Like, it's embarrassing, right? But see, like, in Scotland, you call it tame, right? So it's like, to get, like, your first necky kiss with tongues. It's like, if you're not, you're tamed. And it's like, you become untamed. And it's like, girls sitting there, it's like, oh my god, that's so much pressure. Like, I can't, I like you, but to be the one that untames you, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. I mean, like, if I untame you, like, we might have to get married, and like, you might have to like maybe stick it inside me. I just want to stick it in for like 2 seconds, like, oh, yeah, there you go. So again, I left primary school. I had to find a new affection, and I remember I found the girl, and I was like besotted with her, and that was it. I was like nobody else. There could be other people. I maybe could have spent time on other people, but again, I was focused on this one person, and that had to be it. And then I still remember, this is going to be a story for you, about getting the piss ripped out of you, right? So again, I've had the piss ripped out of me all my life when it comes to like love. So in high school, right, this was horrible, right? So I remember, I think they all knew I had this crush on this girl, right? And I remember they came up with a kind of scheme, right? Again, fucking friends, right? Came up with this whole thing, and I remember somebody phoned me. And by the way, he put on a belting voice. I had no idea. He obviously has balls on the drop jet, and it was like, oh yeah, it's yeah, would you go out with her? I know she just really likes you. He's getting down into it. I can't go in the house, and I'm like, oh, maybe it could be somebody else. Again, he's probably a transvestite now. Again, it's like that one day reminded him, like, yeah, so would you go out with her? I'm good at this, eh? Oh, you're so good at this. Oh yeah, so, yeah, by the way, call me Geraldine now. I'm like, what? So, they made up this whole thing about, like, this person, and then I remember I went into school the next day, and it was like, oh yeah, so like, oh, you're going out with her now, eh? Well done, mate. And it was like, everybody was in on it, and this was sick as shit, right? And this never ever left me. And I remember, like, this horrible moment where everybody's egging us on, went into my classes, and then it's like, the two were walking towards each other, and she bolted out in embarrassment. Because obviously she knew, and she didn't want to, again, she was quite nice to me, so it was like, she didn't want to, like, be like, nope. And she walked out, and I kind of was like, shit, something's not right. Even still, Mr. Autism didn't click. And I should have knew I was getting the piss ripped at us. But again, it was like social cues. I just thought, alright, okay, that's the truth. So then I found out that she was still going out with somebody. Then I had to walk past them while she was with like the boy she was going out with. And it was horrible. And everybody was just like, and I had to do this thing where I was like, you guys. And they're like, you're so autistic. I'm like, see if I would have known now, I just would have threw a brick at them or something. I can lob some at them. But that was horrible to go through. See, after that, I learned a lesson. I still really, really liked her. But then I started to look at other girls. I was just like, right, so who wants to be my next fascination? So I started to look at other girls slightly. As I got older, I became less fixated on people, but again, that person was still always there. If I had to say, right, you're going out with such and such, she wants to go out with you, see ya. So again, it was cruel that way. And then I then got into the whole thing where it was like going through your teens. So I was like past school, into my teens, but then the problem was I did it again. And I'm not going to go into this is a very, very personal thing. Anybody who knows me knows this whole story. But I was in my teens, in my early 20s, and again I became fixated on somebody, and I got the piss ripped completely out of me. Again, it was that best friend thing, hard for my social cues, right? Even other people thought this person liked me. Lying in bed with each other, holding hands, like always on the phone, only wanting to speak to me, spending all my time with us, telling us all our secrets and stuff like that. Getting so close, and it going, and again, the amount of girls that turned around to me, like when I was like later, and I was like, by the way, I really liked you back in the day. She liked you and she liked you, but you were so consumed, you were just like, whatever. And know what annoys me is if I wish I wasn't so autistic and so focused that I would have just went, fucking get it up here, right? And just would have went, no what, I'll go out with you and I'll go, because I quite like these girls, but I was so fixated on this one person. And I'd be quite interested to hear if other people are like that, and other people have
got autism and they found that that's been a limitation to them, and they became consumed with this one person that just didn't like them. And it's quite difficult to know the signals. A lot of guys might have just been like, right, I'm going to piss it to me here, right? And just being like, right, do you like me or do you not like me, right? Which way is it, right? Because I need to fucking like move on, right? But me being me, I was like, no, oh no. It's like, she held my hand the other day. Oh, like she breathed on us. Oh, she still loves me. Secretly deep down, she loves me. And that properly crippled me. So then I turned into an absolute arsehole. I got into my 20s and I had this self-belief all of a sudden. I remember we parted ways, and I remember all of a sudden I had girls coming up to us, which I'd never had before. So the problem is, if I never would have had any girls come up to me, I'd still be a virgin sitting in my house just like, oh god, I've got to turn into a stalker or something, right? It's like, I need to get binoculars or something, right? Fucking hell, right? Thankfully I stopped doing the creepy watcher thing. Everybody's thinking, like, I can't remember my 20s, like, I'm absolutely fucking with my nail, like, I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine. I really wish I could share this nail with you, because this is an absolute cracker. And then again, going out, right? So going out's a really good thing, because you get blurred, right? And the great thing is that women are... This is terrible, but it's true, right? So don't give a shit. Right? Women are a little bit looser, right? When you go out, right? So it's a little thing where they're just kind of like, oh, you start dancing, and it's like, oh, right, somebody likes you, girl's drunk, they'll come across to you, right? Me, I'm still not that guy. Like, I remember my pal, right? He was always like, house party, and he could like go behind girls and like kind of dance with them and stuff like that, and be like, oh, how are you? Chat them up, buy them a drink. And like, I'm tight, right? I'd never buy people drinks, even when it's like me and my wife. I'm like, oh my god, you're so lucky this is a joint bank account, because you'd be getting nothing. It's like, why would I buy girls drinks, right? I'm that tight. And probably if I just would have went to a girl I liked and went, you know what, hi pal, you want a drink? You want to dance? I might actually got more girls. But no, they always had to come to me. But again, I was lucky in that sense, because again, I'm quite funny, again, I like to be centre of attention. So it's the thing where I got older, I got a little bit luckier, but I was so up about relationships, because again, what happened in my past. So again, you think about like never having a girlfriend, like I never really ever had a serious relationship till I met my wife, and then it was a thing where I had to go through all of that hurt, like again through high school, then in my all the mix up of like my teens and my early 20s and stuff like that. So again, I was scared of relationships, so I would see people and it'd be like a contact. I'd be like, right, just so you know, so if you're going to start seeing me, that this isn't going to be serious, okay? I just need to make you aware of the terms and conditions. So obviously, we cannot be called boyfriend and girlfriend, because I am not ready for that. I am going to be seeing other people. If you do find that you text me and I don't text back, that's probably because I am trying to get with another girl and I have no longer any interest in you. Just like, I used to put my cards on the table and go, I'm not going to go out with you. But it'd still happen, you'd still get fucking psychoed. And then people like, oh my god, I love you so much. I'm done. I am done. I am done with you. Please. I am actually ripping my top lip with my nail. I am so anxious. In Asperger's, I was just kind of like, see if I'm done with you. I'm totally disinterested. I'm like, alright, okay. Stop texting, done. Again, I went through that whole thing of sleeping around, enjoying my best life, 20s. I am never going to commit myself to anybody in this world ever again. This stays absolutely locked. But I met my wife, and again, the lucky thing was I became consumed with this woman. She absolutely adored me. I adored her. I just lucked it. Again, I always say that to people. I was like, I knew when I looked at her, I was like, oh, right, okay, no, like, it was kind of like a makeup thing. I was like, right, okay, so I see potential in you, right? Okay, so you've got the braces, right? Okay, your dress sense is a little bit, fucking pop punkish, right? Okay, but if a little bit of work, maybe spend a year dealing with the braces, maybe work on kind of adulting you up. No, saying like she was a bairn, right? But it was kind of like the whole Vans and stuff like that. I was like, I wasn't interested, right? But I remember I was like, I knew the potential was there, and then she just blossomed into the woman that I have today. And everybody knows, looking at me, again, loads of guys are like, this is pure pish. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, I've slept with 200 people, man, and I can't get me somebody like that. Fucking Mr. Autistic. How could he get a missus like that? My missus is stunning, right? And everybody knows that I punch in, everybody knows I locked out. And it just worked out really well, like a perfect Disney story. The beast found his beauty and everything worked out. But it's just one of those things to remember, that love is very difficult, and we can easily get the piss ripped out of us very, very easily, because we actually find is we do actually fall in love quite quickly. But I wouldn't actually say love. I would say it turns out as an obsession first, and then it's the thing where love takes a long time. So for me, for me to love somebody, it takes a long time. And sometimes you can think it's love and it's just a fascination. But again, I love my wife to pieces, not just because she's absolutely bang tidy, but because I love her. I love the bones of her. So I lucked out, and I kind of feel for the people that didn't get like that roll of the dice like I did. Again, it was just a night out. Again, met her, and then again met her the next day, and we started speaking till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it just kind of went on from there. And I just got really lucky, in the right place at the right time, the right person. It just I lucked out. Probably if I hadn't met my wife, I'd still be single. Kind of just like, nope. Kind of probably my fascination would probably be even worse. Going to be going to celebrities and models and shit like, what are you going to do now, Paul? It's like, Paul, I really, really like you. I think we could be something. Well, Ariana Grande might be available someday, you know, and I've got to keep myself available, because if I get with you and Ariana Grande somehow, like, becomes on the market, you know, I don't want to miss out the opportunity. So I'm really sorry. Terms and conditions, pal, right? You did sign it at the bottom. You did sign it at the bottom there. Again, it's quite, love in relationships is quite difficult. What I will say, if you do have somebody that's autistic, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I'm going to be fucking loyal to you, right? Okay, I don't know everybody autistic person, right? But I've never cheated on my wife, and I would never plan on doing it. Because you see, when we become set on that person, again, we're fixated. I'm fixated on my wife. I'm absorbed by my wife. Like, that's my main focus. I don't want anybody else but my wife. Sometimes it could be a little bit much, and it's kind of like, oh my god. Oh, like that new lounge where you're wearing. Paul, it's just jammies. You are doing it for me. It's like, I'm always telling my wife how tidy she is. Again, might be a nightmare to live with, might not be very empathetic towards you, but when it comes to love, they will love you to the absolute bones of you. And they would be an absolute mess, which is the reason why I don't cheat or anything like that. One, because I love my wife. Two, because it'd be an absolute mess without her. That's my person, that's my focus. Like, I would be lost without her. So, love and relationships. That's my story. I don't know what you take from that. What I would probably take from that is that to share it with autism, they're going to find the focus. You're going to find that if you do like somebody that's on the spectrum and you find that they are focused on somebody, it's going to be very difficult to take their attention. And maybe just have be open with them. Just say, I really, really, really like you. This person isn't going to be with you. You should have a chat with them and tell them. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like in my case, where I just got the fucking like the baits to go out. I'm like, I'll take it. Reel them back. I hope you'd like the new camera that I've got here, the new I can't say it, Huawei, whatever, Huawei P30 Pro. So hopefully my videos look a little bit better. I'm going to try and see if I could do something but I could still see myself in the camera, so I can do 4K and you can see every single beautiful detail of me. How good's that? Right, see you soon guys. Right, cheers.